afternoon. Welcome to the Pit Stop. It's the weekly racing show where we look back at last week's racing. And last week was IndyCar in Detroit. And of course, NASCAR that was at Nashville Super Speedway. And then, of course, we look at the news around the sport and we look ahead to this weekend's racing action as well. We do have IndyCar this weekend in St. Louis. Well, outside of St. Louis at the WWTR. We'll talk about that coming up. And then the Truck Series and the Cup Series are in Michigan here this weekend for NASCAR. O'Reilly Series is off here, and we'll look ahead to all of that coming up as well. I'm Stephen McCollum, and you can catch this show and watch it on YouTube. TME Media AZ is where you can find it, or just search, of course, the Pit Stop with Stephen, and it pops right up for you there as well. Or if you're not a YouTube fan, we're also over on Rumble for our on-demand products. Rumble.com/user/TME Media. Pops right up there, and you'll see all of our videos as they get uploaded for all of our shows we do. Of course, right above the videos, there's a channel button. Click on that, and you can go to the Pit Stop or any of the programming you'd like to watch right there on Rumble for those of you that do prefer the Rumble platform out there. Of course, there is a podcast version of the show on your favorite podcast system. Just go to Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, Podcaster. We're on all of them out there. Search the Pit Stop Talk, which is also our social media handle. You can follow us on X as well and interact with us there. Or just search the Pit Stop with Steven, and it comes right up on your favorite podcasting system as well. And of course, as I said, follow us on X at Pit Stop Talk as well. We'd love to interact with you there as well for the racing stuff out there. Now, let's get a look back at last weekend. Well, they're in Detroit here for the IndyCar, of course, fresh off the best and closest finish ever at IndyCar, at the Indy 500. Well, they go to Detroit for the streets of Detroit, a completely different race when you get to the streets of Detroit. Tight turns. You saw cars battling it out, cars ramming each other into corners as they're trying to pass in those tight turns. It's a fun race here. I think it's always been fun in Detroit. Can be frustrating because you'll see some big name guys get knocked out of these races, like a friend of the program, Ferrucci Santino, as well. Santino Ferrucci, as I say it backwards for some reason. His car, he was hitting some guys out there from behind with his bumpers, and his car just quits on him out there at one point in this race. But shouldn't shock you. Alex Palou comes out, and he outraces Kyle Kirkwood and does win on the streets of Detroit. Alex Palou wins his fourth win of the season. Interesting enough, 3 of those wins have been on street courses this year. Not so strong on the oval side of things for him in terms of the win. Alex Palou was also the pole winner going into this race, so he started up front, and that's where he ended up. But it was the 23rd victory of his career in 106 starts. Folks, that is an unbelievable win percentage here. It's 21.7% for him. He also has won 12 of the last 25 races. That's 48% win rate. Not only that, he's run half the races, 4 out of 8 here this year in IndyCar, at least from the start of this season. That 48% win rate does date back to the start of last season in 2025. Well, it wasn't all easy for him, but once he took the lead there from Kyle Kirkwood, which happened there in lap 69, well, Kirkwood had pitted from the lead for the last time at that point. Palou did come out, stay out in front on the restarts that happened. Was it 4 restarts here toward the end of this race as well? Full course yellows bunched up the field before all of those restarts as well. And Kyle Kirkwood had a fantastic race. The difference, I think, in this race, obviously, getting out in front and staying there, Alex did. But more importantly, the strategies. Alex Palou's team had him come in early and first. Kyle Kirkwood came in afterwards, after Palou did, and he just could never regain the lead at that point. So Alex Palou getting another win here on the IndyCar season. Obviously came in also as the championship points leader. Let's look at the final results here of the IndyCar race at Detroit last weekend. Obviously, Alex Palou, this will be Indy 1, I believe, here. Alex Palou in first, Kyle Kirkwood second. Look at this, Graham Rahal in third for him. Couple quick notes here. All Hondas, well, on the podium as well there in the top 3. Then Graham Rahal, that's his third podium of the season here for him, finishing in third place. So that Rahal Letterman team is doing successful here with Graham Rahal getting him on that podium. Pato Award, well, he has another solid run here. He is having solid runs. He's had a couple duds this year, but he's having solid runs and cannot get on that podium so far. I'm just waiting for him to break out and get on that podium and win a race or two with the remaining races of the season here. But Pato Award finishes fourth. Christian Lundgaard fifth. Also, little Arrow McLaren teammates there, fourth and fifth. Then you got Felix Rosenquist coming off of that Indy 500 win. Still following that up here with a sixth place finish. Lewis Foster, Marcus Ericsson, Kiffin Simpson, and then Josef Newgarden. Really good on the ovals. A little foreshadowing for you there with Team Penske coming in that 10th spot for him in this race as well. Kind of told you about, right? Stingray Bob came in 14th, but rookie drivers, Callo Collette, who's having a good rookie season here, finished 16th in this race. Alexander Rossi, 17th. He had some issues out there. Did finish on the lead lap there and got 100 laps in, but struggled there and with some contact as that race went on. David Malakis, who's having a great season. Well, 4 laps down for him. When it lands Scott McLaughlin, some contact here with some teammates issues with Malakis there. They finished 18th and 19th between both of them. Mick Schumacher, another rookie out there having a good rookie season, finished 21st. But then Will Power, his dreadful season continues, finishing 22nd here for him. Santino Ferrucci, I told you, had some mechanical issues. His car stopped there 78 laps into this race. Finished 23rd. And then Scott Dixon and then Christian Rasmussen wrapped it out in 24th and 25th. And Christian Rasmussen was out of this race in lap 9 due to contact as well. So some big name guys finishing not very good here in the streets of Detroit race here as well. Let's go to the championship points here. IndyCar 2, please, is where we're looking at. Obviously, you win a race, you add to your point totals out there, and that's exactly what Alex Palou has done. 327 points now for him in the lead. Kyle Kirkwood is hanging close there. Kyle Kirkwood is going to make this a battle here, I think, till the end of the season. He's in second place. David Malakis, not a good finish here, not as good as he'd like, but he's having podium finishes this year overall in that third spot. Christian Lundgaard in fourth. Pato Award there in the fifth spot. Pato Award gets a win or two, which I predict is coming for him. He's going to get right back into the thick of things here to battle for a championship standings here from his perspective. And I like the way he's running. He just can't get on that dang podium here this year. The next IndyCar race is this weekend, Sunday, coming up in St. Louis. I call it the St. Louis race, obviously outside of St. Louis at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. We'll talk more about that race coming up later in the show when we do our look ahead segment coming up. But first, we got to talk NASCAR because I was at Nashville Super Speedway. And the interesting thing about this weekend was Charlotte had a lot of rain issues. Races moved, canceled, shortened. Well, we had more rain here at Nashville, right? Rain delayed start for the Truck Series. Rain delayed start for the Cup Series as well out there. And, but racing all got in. And we'll start with the Truck Series here, of course, in Nashville for this. So rain delayed Truck Series and Lane Riggs. Another rain issue, and Lane Riggs passed the defending race winner, Raja Karuth, coming off at turn 4. And then next to the last lap after getting the push from his teammate, Chandler Smith, to take that lead. And, of course, he goes on, Lane Riggs, to take his second consecutive, his third win of the season as well. Lane Riggs has all of a sudden gotten hot in this Truck Series. The other thing that kind of makes me think a little bit about is Lane Riggs is really good when rain affects the racetrack, apparently, with the 2 races being affected by that as well. Lane Riggs led all of the opening 90 laps. He claimed victories in both Stage 1 and Stage 2 of the race. That doesn't mean, though, that the third stage was easy for him. He had to go out and earn the victory here for him. He did win the checkered flag and by 0.468 seconds over Raja Karuth. And this was a battle between these two. How much of a battle? I don't need to explain it to you. They were just battling it front and back here in the final laps. I'll show you here with the final lap. Truck won.
Out of turn 4, white flag will be in the air. Tire rub, you saw the smoke there. Chandler Smith is there. It's a 3-man battle. Final lap at Nashville. Lane Riggs trying to clear the 7 of Raja Caruth, and he does it.
He does it with a bent left front fender, contact. He's done it all.
2 corners to go. Lane Riggs, 98 laps led from the first starting position out of turn 4, and he does it at the very end. Lane Riggs wins at Nashville.
He was celebrating down the front straight away, wasn't he?
Hoping he didn't wreck. I mean, that's the most exciting way you could possibly.
Now, you saw the teammate, the push there from his teammate, Chandler Smith, to get him in front of Raja Caruth and ultimately take that victory there for Lane Riggs. All of a sudden, Lane Riggs is hot on this Truck Series circuit as well. Hey, that was such a fun race there, battling it out. You saw there between these guys. Here's Lane Riggs after the race, Truck 2.
That's how you win a NASCAR truck race right there, boys and girls. I hope I put on a show for you guys. I didn't want to fall back, but I don't know what happened with that set of tires, but it was literally undrivable. Dylan made the right adjustments there, got me the tires, he got me the motivation, drove to the front.
Lane, it's your 3rd win of the season. Why are we going to be talking about you come November?
I think you just saw it right there.
He is not a man that lacks confidence. Let's put it that way. He is a great interview after he wins races. You can see kind of the confidence in him there, and he talked about it. That final stage was not easy for him. He went backwards after they changed the set of tires. Truck got all squirrely on him. He had a fight to get that win after dominating that early race, and he got it out there as well. Well, with every winner out there with their confidence, with Lane Riggs winning 2 in a row now, you got to look at the guy that finished in 2nd and had a chance to win it. So let's look at Raja Caruth here after the race, Truck 3.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to make this thing as wide as possible, obviously on the tire disadvantage, but that was a great call by Brian. I think we were strong, just starting in the back, obviously with no qualifying, kind of impacted our night, and we got the truck, really, really strong there. Just needed, I don't know, maybe there's probably some things I should have done better there, but huge congrats to Lane. Obviously, he's done a great job, and they're the championship. They're so glad to give these HendrickCars.com Inspire guys a good result. Huge thanks to Mr. H and Miss Linda and everybody at Spire, Jeff, Bill, Dan, and Cassidy, and everybody. And really didn't want to get that one, obviously, for everybody that was at KBM, obviously KB's family and whatnot. So close, but yeah, still happy for Lane. He did a great job, and truck was fast. I just didn't close it out.
You see everybody's still doing tributes there to Kyle Busch. 2nd race, of course, after his passing as well. Roger Caruth came up under Kyle Busch Racing when he had the Truck Series and ownership of that Truck Series before he sold it off and things a few years ago as well. Look, this was a fantastic ending of this race, the way they battled it out there. And let's look at that finishing order here, Truck 4 as well. We told you, Lane Riggs in the first place, 2nd consecutive race, 3rd of the win of the year. 99 laps led for him. Raja Caruth led 44 of them in that 2nd spot when it was all said and done. Chandler Smith there, of course, in 3rd. We talked about those 3 battling it out there at the end. Excuse me. Ross Chastain coming down, of course, from the Cup Series in the 4th spot. Tyler Ankrum in the 5th. Stuart Friesen ends up in 6th place here. Grant Effinger, Christian Eckes, Gio Ruggiero there in the 9th spot, and then Daniel Dye comes in on the 10th side as well for them. Ty Majeski, Parcher Retzlaff, we'll talk about them here coming up when we look at the championship points as well. But some of these guys with championship hopes are getting into the playoffs. Corey LaJoie finished 22nd. Frankie Muniz has not been heard from here a lot lately. Finished 24th here. Not that it's the greatest finish for him, but making it up that lane. He's usually down into the 30th spot there. But in terms of playoff guys, Caden Honeycutt, who's been hot this year and close to winning and won a couple of them, well, he finished 27th at this race as well. 147 laps is what he completed, so 3 laps down for him. Ben Rhodes, tough one for him, finishing 28th as well. Jake Garcia, 32nd. Tanner Gray, 33rd. Jesse Love, 34th. Come down into this truck race. All knocked out here in an accident for these guys as well. Accidents obviously not a good thing out there. And cautions in this race, 8 cautions for 48 laps. And there was practice qualifying was canceled for the truck series due to the rain. You saw that behind Raja Karuth there in the interview, just the hovering of the fog and the rain clouds there above him. And, obviously accidents will happen from that side. But Lane Riggs with a big win. Let's flip those championship points here in the truck series. Limited races left for these guys, right? 7 here. That was race 11 of 18 here in the regular season. They're going to be getting some weeks off here over the summer, like the truck series normally does. Lane Riggs overtakes it and takes the lead here in the championship points. He's up there with 458 points. Caden Honeycutt moves down to second here at 421. I think Caden Honeycutt's, he had a bad race here. I think he's got some favorable racetracks coming his way. Christian Eckes there in third. Chandler Smith in fourth. Gio Ruggiero fifth. Ty Majeski sixth. Ben Rhodes, even though a terrible race, wasn't a good race for him there in Nashville. 7th spot. Tyler Ankrum in 8th. Stuart Friesen in 9th. Daniel Hemrick comes in at 10th. All inside that playoff bubble. Jake Garcia, not a good race for him, but he does still have that first spot on the outside looking in. 6 points out from the cut line. Then Grant Effinger, 26 points out for him. Brendan Queen just continues to hang out there, 35 points out of that spot with Justin Haley. And then Andres Perez de Laura, not getting closer to that cut line. He's actually going the opposite way, 47 points out with 7 races remaining, including this weekend coming up in Michigan, coming up this Saturday. For them, they're going to go to a 2-mile oval here. Stuart Friesen, by the way, is the defending race winner here. Does he have a chance to repeat? He does have a chance to repeat. These 2-mile ovals are a lot different compared to the Truck Series, compared to the Cup Series here on these longer ovals coming up this weekend. But we'll talk more about Michigan later on in the show because we have to talk about the O'Reilly race here at Nashville as well. Speed and experience, in my opinion, is what got it done here. Justin Allgaier got to the checkered flag at Nashville for the O'Reilly series, and he beat little 18-year-olds. And the guy I've been telling you guys to pay attention to, he's fun to watch, little 18-year-old Brent Cruz battling it out there with Justin Allgaier. Allgaier won with 1.4 second, ultimately, is what he had over Cruz. But it was a battle there for a lot of this race. Well, it's Allgaier's 3rd at the Nashville Concrete Oval and 32nd win overall of his career. And as I said a couple weeks ago, rumors have started to come out that he might be retiring after this year. It took long, it took hard, it took clean, it took immaculate racing between these two, side-by-side racing for multiple laps for Allgaier to eventually get by Cruz for good. There's about 20 laps remaining is when he was finally able to pass him and hold on for the victory here. How big and how much fun was this racing? I don't need to tell you. I'll just show you. O'Reilly won, please.
Is he all clear this time? Yes, he is. Allgaier back in control.
If Justin Allgaier goes back to the bottom here, he is. Brent's going to try and get a little bumper. He gave him a bumper. Don't see that very much here.
I mean, 17 to go. Let it all hang out. Going for that first career victory.
Justin's been pretty nice. We'll see if he maybe drives him a little tighter this time into one.
Might have to squeeze him after that one a little bit.
I mean, that's just an example of the battle that was going on. That there was 17, 18 laps to go. And like I said, eventually Allgaier gets across in front of him and just holds on. But it wasn't like Cruz went away at all. He kept fighting to get up there to pass him as well. And there was a lot of fun there in that O'Reilly race as well. Well, let's look at the checkered flag for Justin Allgaier, O'Reilly 2.
Coming.
Such an impressive night for Justin in the 17.
Justin Allgaier playing a happy tune again. He gets his 3rd victory in Music City.
They have one of the best awards out there, right? You get a guitar there in Nashville when you win. Hey, Brent Cruz, he's just 18 years old. He's a fun driver to watch here, a young driver. After the race, he actually said it was the most fun he's had without winning. On top of it, Cruz is second runner-up this season for him. He's finished second earlier this year as well. He led the race twice for a total of 45 laps in the lead. That's the most he's ever led in a single race as well. Obviously 18 years old and new on this circuit as well. Throw up the finishing order for the O'Reilly series, if you will. We told you already, right? Justin Allgaier, no shocker, our pick to win. Ends up winning this race. Then you got Brent Cruz there in the second spot. William Swalwich comes in third. Sam Mayer, Brandon Jones, Corey Day, Carson Kvapil. Kyle Larson coming down from the Cup Series finished 8th. Taylor Gray in 9th. Sammy Smith there finishing in the top 10 as well. So a lot of big names back up here in the front, but Sheldon Creed in the 15th spot for him. Jesse Love in the 16th spot in this race here as well. So not all great for some of these drivers out there trying to get easy playoff and championship points here in the O'Reilly Series coming up here. 2 caution flags for 15 laps. So after the disaster, I call it there, of Charlotte the week before, well, this was some fun racing there. And, of course, all the videos and everything we show you for the O'Reilly Series from the CW, we got to give them credit for their coverage here of the O'Reilly Series as well. Throw up the championship points for me here as well for the O'Reilly Series. Justin Allgaier shouldn't shock you, right? He just won again. Still in the lead and widening that gap. 770 points for him. Jesse Love in second with 591. Corey Day next up. And Sheldon Creed, Brandon Jones, Austin Hill, Carson Kvapil, Sammy Smith, William Swalwich, Parker Retzlaff, Sam Mayer, and Taylor Gray are all the drivers inside that playoff bubble as of right now. Still plenty of racing to come with an off week coming this weekend for the O'Reilly Series. Roger Carruth is on the outside looking in. 12 points out there. Brent Cruz, well, look at that. Second place. Gets a little movement up here. He's in that second spot outside looking in. 15 points behind. That can be made up pretty easy coming up. And then the only other guy I think, unless that we're looking at in playoffs here, we're kind of dwindling down. Ryan Sieg here, 15 points out as well. Everybody from Brendan Poole on down, they're getting to the point here where they just need multiple wins and stuff to get up to that point. 90 points out, yes, it's make-upable. There's plenty of races left, but that just means you're not running well if you're 90 points out of the bubble spot as of right now. So we're down to 3 drivers that have a chance to kind of split spots with people inside that bubble coming up as well. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying we're getting to unlikely levels for guys to earn their spots into that 12 playoff field here after those top 3 guys there. The CW earned 1.123 million total viewers for the race there on Saturday in Nashville. Now, they got the Nelson panel only data on this one. It's the most watched Nashville race in its 6th year among total viewers. Viewership peaked at 1.335 million total viewers in the final laps, which, of course, Justin Allgaier ended up winning. Audience increased by 14% over last year's same weekend race in Nashville, and it's also the 16th straight race with over 1 million total viewers for the O'Reilly Series, and that is a treat by itself. The CW is doing justice with covering the O'Reilly Series. It's a good service to watch them. It is now easy to find it. Before, I had problems getting to it without having cable. Now it's an easy race to watch. I think the coverage is good. The racing's exciting as well. Deserves over 1 million viewers there on that O'Reilly Series, and they are definitely getting it as well. Now coming up for the O'Reilly Series, they've raced 16 consecutive races. Well, they have their first off week this weekend before returning to competition the following week, June 13th, and they'll rejoin racing over there at Pocono in Pennsylvania coming up. So enjoy the off week O'Reilly Series as well. Then you got the Cup Series there at Nashville, and woof, another fun little race for us. The racing I thought was great this weekend, especially coming off of Charlotte, and that just utter disappointment there in Charlotte. Well, race pole sitter Denny Hamlin, he took the lead at the green flag, right away penalized. He was reset to the last place spot there. Was it 38 cars or so in the field? Well, he jumped the start is what NASCAR said. Well, then what did he have to do? He had to race forward in the race, all 300 laps there to get the win in Nashville Super Speedway. I've told you multiple times here on this program over the last several weeks, I love the way Denny Hamlin's running. It's almost like no pressure with his offseason things that he had happen to him. He's just, hey, let's go race. It seems like a lot of that other nonsense is kind of washed away from him, and I love what I'm seeing from him out there. With 4 laps remaining on a restart, Hamlin was racing his teammates. 2 teammates, Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe for the win. Well, let's check that out. Cup 1, the race to the finish.
1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Who's it going to be? Hamlin, Bell, and Briscoe, they're all there. 3 wide to turn 1. This is incredible. Bell shoots to the lead.
That's going to take the line away from the 19, but Denny's going to clear into the lead.
Denny Hamlin chases inside after Bell had squirted out front.
You see Chase Briscoe's falling back.
One last run for Bell in the outside lane. Can he get there? He cannot. Thinks about a crossover. It won't happen. Denny Hamlin, big-time victory in Nashville. How about it?
I mean, gets the win over his 2 teammates as well. I thought this was another fantastic race. Watching him battle his way up. It wasn't easy for Christopher Bell either to be there. He had some pit issues and things that kind of made him fall backwards. They both were able to race up there. Joe Gibbs Racing might be poised here to get some wins on some of these 2-mile and mile-and-a-half ovals that are coming the way on the circuit here over the summer months. Hey, Denny Hamlin wins. I've enjoyed Denny Hamlin's interviews here this year. I just see a calmness about him we haven't seen before. So let's check in with Denny Hamlin after the race. Cup to you.
Well, I think the 20 and the 19 were battling so hard in that first corner. It just let me get to the inside of the 20 in the first corner there after the restart. And from there, it's just side by side with the 20. And he drove in so deep on that last lap into 1 that it just allowed me to barely clear off of 2. But, man, what an unbelievable day. Starting first, going to last, and back to first.
I was going to ask about jumping the start at the beginning of the race. A, did you agree with the call? And then B, how did you know just that you needed the patience to get through this entire race after that?
Oh, I definitely jumped the start. No doubt about that. Yeah, just looking back on it, just didn't wait quite long enough. But I want to say hi to Mari and Trish from Progressive and this whole team. Sport Clips, Martha's retiring, so happy retirement to Martha. And Jordan Brand, Yahoo, National Debt Relief, King's Hawaiian, Bob's Discount Furniture. Just thanks all the sponsors that I've got. It's just been amazing. And thank you to this sellout crowd. Appreciate you all sticking around. It's been an honor.
How does it feel to be the first Toyota driver in the Cup Series to win here?
It's amazing.
That's the other stat that shocks me. Just look at him. He's just relaxed this year and going without, it's just, hey, let's go have fun. Let's go race it. He's having success out there. The shocker one there is first Toyota win in Nashville on top of that. Kind of shocked by that. And 3 drivers were in that lead as well. You want to see the in-car perspectives of that finish with them battling it out? Well, obviously, it'll be Christopher Bell. I believe he's on the top here. Denny Hamlin's on the bottom. NASCAR does a fantastic job with these in-car setups and everything. Well, here it is, Cup 3, the in-car to the checker. Of course, you got the restart right there as well. So you get with that. 19 of Chase Briscoe on the outside, Christopher Bell on the 20 car. If you're looking at the bottom one there, Denny Hamlin's perspective. Christopher Bell here ready to battle it out for the finish. This is the corner where Christopher Bell sticks his nose out in front. Denny Hamlin gets in front of him and pulls out in front of him. Chase Briscoe right now is falling back in this race, but here we go. Side by side. You see the driver's perspective expected here. All it takes is a little bump there by Denny Hamlin. I think you really can see here how Denny Hamlin in that turn is able to kind of push Christopher Bell kind of up into that racetrack as Denny Hamlin goes low, and you can see where he kind of gets that gap there in order to utilize that again here going into this turn. You see how he pushing Christopher Bell back as he's going forward. He's got that inside line, and you see how that pass happened. It's on that higher perspective as Chase Briscoe's coming back into a little bit more fighting that upper wall as well. That's what Denny Hamlin was talking about. They were battling into that turn, the two of them. And that allowed Denny Hamlin to get underneath it and kind of take that lead and, of course, stay with it as it goes on. So you saw the perspective from the broadcast side. Now you're seeing it from the in-car and what Denny Hamlin kind of saw there with those two, Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell, battling it, left him that opening to take that lead. And, of course, he doesn't look back after that as well for Denny Hamlin. So interesting. Those in-car perspectives kind of show you what you're looking at and what they see. And you heard Denny Hamlin talk about those two battling it out and on that perspective. I can't get enough of those in-cars when the driving is like that as well. Throw up the finishing order for me on this race. Of course, Cup 4 here is what we're looking at. Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe in those three spots. Denny Hamlin led 57 laps. Christopher Bell led 29. Chase Briscoe led 14 as well. Those three Toyotas were just out there racing there at that race going on as well. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., of course, got that contract extension a couple years ago with his team, finishing 4th. SVG, look at him coming in at 5th here at Nashville on that oval. SVG needs to run well on the road courses, which, of course, he does. And he needs some oval good finishes. He had them earlier this season. We'll look at his championship points here coming up as well and see if he's moved any higher with this run. But he needs finishes in the top 10, top 5 like this to make the playoffs with his road course finishes that he generally has there as well. Of course, the guy that was hot to begin the season, Tyler Reddick in the 6th spot. Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Zane Smith coming in 9th, and then Carson Hocevar there in the 10th spot as well here in this race. I think Joey Logano, just some other names. Joey Logano finished 14th here. In terms of last week's win there, Daniel Suarez with the rain-shortened race in Charlotte. Daniel Suarez finished 19th here as well. This race was delayed due to rain as well on Sunday night. Kyle Larson finished 23rd here in this race. I expected more from him in this racetrack just because of the speed needed, and just struggled here throughout this race as well from that side. Bubba Wallace has gone from racing really well to finishing toward the back. Now, an accident took him out of this race. He finished 32nd for him there. Alex Bowman, Brad Keselowski, AJ Allmendinger finished 35th here. You got Ryan Preece, Ross Chastain, 36th, 37th. Connor Zilic, another accident there, 38th for him. So some big name guys getting knocked out of this race earlier on there. Laps 90, lap 172 in those races. They're knocking some of these guys out. Bubba Wallace and Alex Bowman were lap 200-ish, 202, 203 time frame as well in the finishing order. The race the race featured 2 first-time stage winners of the season. AJ Allmendinger won stage 1. Last week's Charlotte winner on that shortened race. Well, Daniel Suarez won stage 2 as well. When that was happening and AJ Allmendinger won stage 1, I said, wow, we could have a battle here with some new drivers up at the top. And it ends up being some Joe Gibbs guys battling it out as well. Throw up those championship points here for us, if you will. Cup 5. Now, Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, who, Denny Hamlin still has a way to go to get to Tyler Reddick here. Because even if Tyler Reddick's not winning, well, he's finishing top 5s, definitely top 10s here for the most part this season. extending that lead out there. Ryan Blaney's in third, Chase Elliott in fourth, Ty Gibbs, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Chris Boucher, Carson Hocevar, Daniel Suarez, William Byron. Look at that. SVG with his top 5 finish in that 12th spot there inside the playoff bubble. Brad Keselowski, Chase Briscoe with his run in that 14th spot. Bubba Wallace, even though not a good race, they're in 15th for him. Austin Cindric is 2 points out or inside the bubble with right now with that lead, which means Ryan Preece is on the outside looking in, but only 2 points out. Joey Logano making some headway from last week, only 9 points out of that playoff cut line as well. Then you're getting some guys. Zane Smith had a good finish here, but he's still 34 points out. Michael McDowell, 31 points out. They can still make up those points. They are easily within striking condition to move forward. They don't want to go backwards too much longer. Joey Logano making up some points here this year. And I'll tell you this, I think Joey Logano is going to get into the playoffs this year. So then it becomes, who does he surpass and get up into as well? Prime Video, of course, is now where the racing is occurring. It's our second race for Prime Video here this week. That's where we got our videos from for video credit out there. Then we got to talk ratings here on Prime Video as well. Prime Video average 0.79 rating, which means 1.655 million viewers for that Sunday race, which was delayed due to rain as well. Now, this is only the Nelson panel only data because it's a streamer service. So you don't get the big data battles as well that you were getting with Fox. It was delayed 75 minutes to start on this deal because of that rain. But that also means ratings were down here. 12% down from last year's Nashville race. That drew last year 1.9 million viewers on NBC when it aired without a weather delay at that time. I even was kind of like, this late race is starting late on Sunday night. And then it finished late. And I'm on the West Coast, right? So it was early for us. I couldn't imagine being on that East Coast on a Sunday night with that weather delay out there as well. So if you use the Nelson's big data measurement, Sunday's race averaged 2.01 million viewers, down just 3% year over year if you use those numbers. Nashville was the second race of Prime Video's 5-race NASCAR Cup Series package. So it goes Charlotte, Nashville, then, of course, Michigan coming up this weekend as well, which is where the Cup Series goes. It's Truck Series on Saturday, Cup Series on Sunday coming up this weekend in Michigan. And don't look now, Denny Hamlin's actually the defending race winner at Michigan. He's coming off this win at Nashville as well, and he's running just easy going, and I love the way he's running. Do we pull another Denny Hamlin type chance to win this race coming up? We'll have to pay attention to that when we look ahead to the racing this weekend as well. When we come back here at the pit stop, we, of course, look ahead to the news around the sport of racing. And then, of course, racing this weekend. So come on back, folks. It's the pit stop. Welcome back to the Pit Stop. I'm Stephen McCollum. You're watching the weekly show on racing. You can watch this show on YouTube. TME Media AZ is a parent company for all of our production stuff out there. You're going to want to like and subscribe to that channel if you're a YouTube fan, because we're going to be putting out some stuff where we're not doing a formal show. Movie reviews could be coming up here as well, and some other ideas, some more business stuff that doesn't fall into a show like McCollum on Business. So you want to like and subscribe to that page. Of course, the McCollum on Business and the main event, both live there on YouTube as well, TME Media AZ. Or if you're not a YouTube fan, you can go over to Rumble, rumble.com/user/TME Media. Nothing live over there as of yet, but catch all of our on-demand programming, including the Real Matrix over there on a Rumble, and of course the Pit Stop as well. There is a podcast version of the show on your favorite podcast system. Just search the Pit Stop Doc, or you can search the Pit Stop with Steven. It'll come right up for you. Don't forget to follow us on X. The Pit Stop Talk is where you can find us on X as well. We'd love to interact with you on there if you're a racing fan, like watching racing, and let us know your thoughts on anything we say here on the program every week as well. Hey, before we look ahead to this weekend's racing with IndyCar and NASCAR, limited NASCAR with the O'Reilly being off, well, let's look at some news around the racing world. First up, if you're into a little mini movie, NASCAR announced this week that they're doing NASCAR versus the Navy, the San Diego mini movie coming up. It premieres June 5th on Prime Video. So if you're interested in that, I think it'll be a fun little thing to see here. Of course, hyping up that event coming up here in just a couple weeks in San Diego, around the military base there in Coronado, outside of San Diego. So a little mini movie coming away June 5th, which is, I believe, this Friday coming up, if you're interested in that. And then we find out Legacy Motor Club we've known that they've had some new investors, and rumors were that there were a lot of celebrity investors into Legacy Motor Club. Of course, that's Jimmy Johnson's group out there. And then Jimmy Johnson said something this week that kind of caught my eye. Jimmy Johnson had said, quote, "We have a huge group of celebrity investors, and we look forward to making that formal announcement with all 27 of them," unquote. Yeah, 27 celebrity investors in the Legacy Motor Group. That is an astonishing number there. That kind of just got me by off guard there. Now, we do know Darius Rucker is a part of that investment group. He's the one that has been announced so far. Jimmy Johnson went on to say, quote, "But Darius and a couple more will be announced as we kind of get into the early summer stretch. But these are the first and foremost friends and people that are passionate about motorsports. Some are friends of music, sport, motorsport, various aspects of business." He said, quite notably as well, even some action sports guys that really want to be a part of this journey and see what's going on in motorsports and the world of NASCAR. Jimmy Johnson went on to say the opportunity to help amplify Legacy Motor and amplify NASCAR as well is what they're interested in doing. The big news I got out of that, though, 27. We knew Darius Rucker was one of them. They announced that back in March. But 27 people investing into that company from the celebrity side of things just kind of caught me off guard. That's a big number out there. Hey, the Kyle Petty charity ride across America. It's KPCRAA for short. It announced that it raised a record $2.7 million after completing its cross-country 30th anniversary ride. It took place back in May 1st to May 9th of this year. Funds raised directly benefit Victory Junction. That's a camp in Randleman, North Carolina, and it services children with complex medical and physical conditions. The ride's donation does support summer camperships, building projects, and maintenance programs for that camp. Former NASCAR driver and racing analyst, Kyle Petty led 150 motorcycles across 11 states. The 9-day trek, obviously, from the 1st to the 9th, covers more than 3,400 miles and celebrating the 250 years of America along the way this year. The ride began in Sonoma, California, and ended up in Charlotte, North Carolina. All along the ride's 30th anniversary route, fans came from miles around to welcome the riders as they drove through. Got to meet celebrity guests and even support this racing cause as well. The live action alone for this, the live auction of a bunch of memorabilia, etc. It brought in more than $400,000 on Saturday, May 9th, which is the final ride dinner, is what they did that. $400,000 just from the live auction and raising 2.7 million overall. Fantastic event there and support for a worthy cause as well. Hey, speaking of San Diego coming up, Trackhouse Racing announced that former Formula One and current FIA World Endurance Championship, he's the WEC, that driver, his name is Kevin Magnussen. Well, he's going to drive the number 91 Qualcomm Chevrolet in that NASCAR race there at the Naval Base Coronado in San Diego coming up on June 21st. We're getting a former F1 driver coming in. See what he can do, right, when he gets on that road course over there in Coronado as well. And with all that being said, let's look ahead to this weekend in racing. Of course, we'll start with IndyCar because IndyCar moves to St. Louis for this weekend. Qualifying is 4:30 p.m. Eastern, so of course 1:30 for those of us out here in the western part of the United States. It's going to be on Saturday this weekend on Fox. Nighttime race. The race is 9 p.m. Eastern time, which makes it 6 p.m. over here on the West Coast. On Sunday is where we're looking at coming up. Night race. The St. Louis track, they call it St. Louis, but it's known as the Worldwide Technology Raceway. It is located just outside of St. Louis, Missouri. It's across the river there. It's over in Madison, Illinois is where it actually is. It's an intriguing 1.25-mile oval. And a lot of the drivers love this because it's got a very unique shape, varying degrees of banking in each corner. For instance, turn 1 and 2, they have characteristics similar to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Turns 3 and 4, IndyCar raced here in early March timeframe, but turns 3 and 4 are similar to how Phoenix Raceway is set up on its banking and turns as well. It's got an egg shape, this track does. It's reminiscent of the oval at the former Twin Ring Monagi racetrack over there in Japan. So it's an intriguing race. It's not just a regular oval. It's got intricacies to it as well. It's like an onion. It's got layers, folks. IndyCar is back to ovals this weekend after, obviously road course last weekend in Detroit. We all know Josef Newgarden. He's got a great chance this weekend to win. Won in Phoenix on that oval as well. Earlier this year. Alex Palou, well, he's always a threat in these races. 3 of his last 4 wins, though, have been on a street course this year. He crashed out in Phoenix on that oval. How does he do here at the WWTR is the question moving forward. I like Kyle Kirkwood as well this weekend. He's the defending champ of this race. He's always that threat to win. You got a lot of guys that can win this race, right? Christian Rasmussen, Malakis has been running really well here on these ovals, getting onto several podiums this year, a couple podiums this year as well out there. Who are you going to go with here outside of St. Louis this weekend? Well, I'm going to go with the driver that won here in 2022 and 2024. I like the way he runs on ovals. I like the way he has confidence in these ovals. I'm going to go with the winner that also won in Phoenix. Josef Newgarden is going to get the win here at St. Louis and WWTR racetrack there outside of St. Louis. Josef Newgarden. He was my Indy 500 pick. Went out in a wreck there and everything. And I think he rebounds here and gets the win at the Worldwide Technology Raceway coming up on Sunday. And night race as well. Changes some dynamics with temperature, eyesight. I know there's lighting there and stuff, things to that effect. So looking forward to watching that race this weekend there for the IndyCar guys. Now, the O'Reilly Series is off this weekend, but we do got to talk Cup Series and Truck Series here coming up in Michigan. If you don't know, Michigan is a longer racetrack. It's a 2-mile oval up there outside, in Michigan, I should say. I was going to say outside of Michigan. I don't know why I would say that. But this is a fun racetrack. This is a competitive racetrack out there. Now, for the Truck Series, they get a race on Saturday this week. Yep, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, which makes that 10:30 for us out here in the Western time zones as well. Obviously, the Truck Series is on Fox all season long, is where you can catch it. Practice is on Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, so 6:30 a.m. here Phoenix time. Qualifying will be on Saturday as well, 10:35 a.m. Eastern time, which means 7:35 here in Phoenix. You can wake up, watch practice and qualifying on the Truck Series before they get underway at 10:30 Phoenix time here coming up on Saturday. The the Truck Series and a 2-mile oval. I think you're going to need some endurance here. You obviously need the speed, but you need endurance to get this race in because those 2-mile ovals are a lot bigger for these trucks. Then you got to worry about green flag pit stops and wrecks that happen and the strategies out there. And obviously, Lane Riggs has catapulted his way to being the favorite this weekend. He comes into Michigan with back-to-back wins over the last couple of weeks. Can he get a third in a row? That's the question to look at. He's running really well right now as well. Yes, one was rain shortened on that timer there in Charlotte. But didn't he prove himself last week that he can still be there at the end on these racetracks and still has that speed? It just heads up here. One of my favorite drivers to watch, especially his press conferences, Cletus McFarland. He won't win this weekend, but he is racing this weekend. So watch for his pre-race stuff. And it can be entertaining on the racetrack as well. His goal is to just keep getting better here on these racetracks and these ovals so he can continue to get better out there. Whether he finishes last or toward the end, the key to him is just getting wheel time. And then, like I said, catch his interviews. They can be a little entertaining out there. Now, there's a bunch of Cup drivers coming down into the Truck Series. Right, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, Carson Hocevar, all coming down into the Truck Series here this weekend in Michigan. We don't generally pick the Cup guys to win the races. We just assume one of them's going to do it. We like to pick here, so we don't pick necessarily the winners of the race here, but we'll pick the best finishing truck driver is what we generally do this weekend. He didn't have a good race next week, the gentleman I'm going to pick. He was hot there for a few weeks before he went on and won. I told you, he's going to win here coming up, and he ended up winning the next week. Those of you watching this show, you know I'm talking about Caden Honeycutt. Did not have a good weekend last weekend in Nashville. I'm expecting a rebound here this weekend. 2-mile oval, he's going to have the speed to be there. He's going to be up there in the front most of this race as well. Come down to those intricacies. I'm putting my money on Caden Honeycutt this weekend to get the win. I like the way he drives on fast tracks. The 2 miles at Michigan is going to bring the racing this weekend. I think he's going to be in the conversation. I don't think Lane Riggs is going to get his third victory of the year, even though they're racing really good coming up here. Ty Majeski can be fast on these types of tracks. Just there's something missing, in their team and stuff. Let me go with Caden Honeycutt. Get good old Caden the win there in the Truck Series. That's on Saturday this week, don't forget. And then Sunday, I'm going to actually miss Friday racing of the Truck Series. Get off work here in the studio and go home and just tune on the Truck Series on that Friday afternoon out here in the west side, west time zone. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it a lot. So this year I got to kind of get accustomed to no Friday racing for the Truck Series. Got to pull that to a Saturday as well. But the Cup Series always on Sunday, coming up this weekend there at Michigan. Noon out here in the West Coast, which means 3 p.m. Eastern time. Green flag will be around 3:20 Eastern, so 12:20 out here in the West Coast. Obviously, this is the third race of the 5 here for Amazon Prime coming up as well. I've got to figure out my life stuff because I don't have cable, and the TNT app is terrible. It's kind of like the Fox app turned into there for the last several weeks. It's hard for me to watch things on that. And TNT's up next here after a couple more races. So I gotta figure out my life to keep watching NASCAR here this summer. Practice and qualifying for the Cup guys is on Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, that means 2 to 4 p.m. out here on the West Coast. Amazon Prime is the coverage all season long for practice and qualifying, but also for the race here and now as well. This is a 400-mile race here coming up this weekend in Michigan, and it's set up kind of like this. So 400 miles, which means 200 laps, obviously, for a 2-mile racetrack. Stage 1 is going to be 45 laps. Stage 2 is going to be 75 laps. It ends there on lap 120. The final stage is going to be 80 total laps. That ends on lap 200 for the final stage length as well. Big question marks here on the Cup Series, right, as we're talking about that coming into this. Active Michigan race winners. 2025, Denny Hamlin won it. He's the defending champion coming into this race. Coming off the win in Nashville. I love the way Denny Hamlin's running this year. It's been fantastic. All right. 2024 winner was Tyler Reddick. Another driver. Started off hot. You could say he's cooled down, but only because he hasn't been winning. But he's finishing top 10s and top 5s in most races. Tyler Reddick is still right there as the 24 winner coming into this weekend's race as well. 2023, Chris Buescher, right, with RFK Racing, won this race. He's got a lot of speed. They just haven't been able to get him across the checkered flag there first here in a while now, it seems like. But he's going to have the speed to run here at Michigan in this 2-mile track. He won this race in 2023 as well for him. 2022 was a racer that isn't active anymore here today. 2021 was Ryan Blaney. Keep that in mind with the Team Penske guys as we talk about who's going to win this race coming up. Ryan Blaney will be fast on this racetrack. What he does with it, I'm not quite sure. It's just there's something with that team as it goes on as well going forward. His teammate, Joey Logano, has won this race 3 times, but not since 2019 was the last time he won that as well. So who's going to win at this 2-mile track? Big questions here. Speed and experience is going to get you the win. Bubba Wallace started off this season running really well. We gave him a lot of praise through the first, 5-6 races. Lately, not been doing well. Going backwards, wrecks, arguing with drivers afterwards, not being there at the end of these races. Bubba Wallace, though, does run Michigan well. But if it's between him, I would favor his teammate, Tyler Reddick, over Bubba Wallace. Tyler Reddick does have a chance to win this. Kyle Larson hasn't won in the Cup Series in a hot minute. He'll have a chance to do so this weekend if he stays out of the muck and his team and his car's in good condition. He'll have a chance to do so, but there's something off with this Kyle Larson team this year. I don't know if he can get the win. Chase Elliott's won earlier than he's ever won with 2 wins this year. He has success here. His dad had a lot of success here as well. But can Chase Elliott win here? I don't know if he can this weekend in Michigan. Joey Logano, I told you, hasn't won this race since 2019. He's ran this racetrack 29 times in his career. And he leads a lot of laps. He is the active race leader in laps. Joey Logano is. It doesn't translate to wins, though. If I was going to say a Team Penske driver was going to win, I'd actually pick Joey Logano this weekend. I think Joey Logano is going to be surprising. He's going to have a top 10 finish this weekend, but can he get the win? Brad Keselowski's back home. He's from Michigan. Will he have a great showing this weekend? What about his teammate who won this in 2023, Chris Buescher? I would favor Chris Buescher over Brad Keselowski, but Keselowski can be in this. The RFK team can be fast here at the Michigan racetrack as well. We've mentioned all of these teams, and we haven't even mentioned Joe Gibbs Racing yet. They're coming in hot with Denny Hamlin, obviously. Race defending champion, just coming off of the win there. A couple wins this year already for Denny Hamlin. Just kind of, hey, I'm out here racing. Like Denny Hamlin this year. Like him a lot. But don't sleep on second place finisher last week, Christopher Bell. Don't sleep on Chase Briscoe either. They've got the speed there in that Joe Gibbs Racing stable. It looks like those teams are putting their cars together. I could see any 3 of the Joe Gibbs Racing winning this as well. This is a tough one to pick the winner. I've come in hot on this over the last couple days as well. I do think this race is going to come down to 3 fast drivers. Tyler Reddick, he hasn't won in a while, but obviously had that hard start to the finish, but running well, meaning he's finishing well in most races. Top 5, top 10s. He's had a couple clunkers with accidents, etc., but generally, he's there in the top 10. Obviously, Denny Hamlin. I think he's going to be in this conversation to win this race as well, the way he's running. And I think Christopher Bell, I think that's who it's coming down to here. Ironically enough, 3 Toyotas in the front here. There's something with those Chevrolets that I just worry about on these longer racetracks and where you need that speed consistently. I think I put the Fords ahead of the Chevys this weekend in Michigan as well in terms of finishing, which would put RFK and Team Penske, 2 drivers, right? Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney kind of in front of the Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott's this weekend. But I think it's going to come down to Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, and Christopher Bell this weekend. But one of those 3 drivers is going to get it. And it's easy for me to say Denny Hamlin, I love the way he's running. I think Tyler Reddick, I don't want to say he's comfortable with the wins he has this year and he's just waiting for the playoffs to start. I think they're trying to win. It's just not easy to win in NASCAR, and they had that phenomenal run at the beginning of the year. I don't think they're going to push to win is what I'm getting at. If they're in the front, they'll go for it. But if they're in the 3rd, 4th spot, yeah, they're more than happy to finish in those spots. Keep the points up there and keeping that momentum going. Denny Hamlin wants to win. Christopher Bell, though, is the driver that could use a win. He has momentum after Nashville, right? Battling it out with his teammate, Denny Hamlin, for that win. I think Christopher Bell is the driver I'm going to go with here. He gets the win at Michigan. I'm not saying it's not a must win for him. I think he needs to break through here. I think he's going to be able to do it this weekend. Maybe we can see a Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell battle again with Tyler Reddick involved. Christopher Bell gets the win at this time coming up here this weekend. But Christopher Bell, Cup Series winner this weekend as well. Hey, folks, I appreciate you joining us here on the Pit Stop for this week. Next week, of course, we come back. IndyCar, we'll look back at their race this weekend. But next weekend, IndyCar is off for the week before they come back the week after. Well, we'll get the O'Reilly Series rolling again next week. We got Pocono coming up. Truck Series will take a little bit of a break here coming up here in a few weeks as well. So, folks, we'll have that next week here as well. Look ahead and look back as well. So make sure you join us next week here on the Pit Stop. Comes out on Wednesdays at TME Media AZ on YouTube, on rumble.com/user/TME Media. Follow us on the Pit Stop as well. We always post when the new episodes are out as well. We can't appreciate you enough for following us, whether it's on the free podcasting system, whether you're following us on X as well, the Pit Stop Talk, or, of course, catching our programming on Rumble or on YouTube out there as well. We'll see you next week, everyone. Have a great racing weekend.